Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. In this tutorial I want you to show you how you can make this beautiful Erastis cover up dress. Erastis means lovers in Greek, and because the stitch that I use is called also lover's knot, I said that it will be a perfect name. I'm using for this dress this Katia Versailles from the concept collection of Katia, and the recommended hook here is between 3.5 millimeter, but we are using this time a 3 millimeter crochet hook. If you are from US, you can use any yarn that is suitable for a 3.25 millimeter crochet hook or something like that. To start, we will need a multiple of 4 plus 1 stitches. I will work a small sample here just to show you how to work the stitch, and then I will show you along the dress how we are doing the dress, every part of it, how you can work it. So now just chain a multiple of 4 plus 1 stitches. And then make the first row in single crochet. This will be the foundation row for our stitch. So I'm making now the single crochet, and then we can start with our stitch. So after finishing one row of single crochet, then chain 4, and then no, not chain 4, sorry, chain 1 and make 1 single crochet after turning. Then you'll have to make the loop, pull the loop a little bit bigger, like 1 centimeter, and then make 1 single crochet into that loop. Okay, so I'm pulling out, yarn over, pull the yarn through the loop, and then between the strands we are doing the single crochet. You have to do 2 loops like this, then skip 3 single crochet, and in the 4th make 1 single crochet. So we started with 1 single crochet, then 2 loops like this, 2 stitches, and then at the end we will do the same. So pull out the loop like 1 centimeter, yarn over and pull it through. Then between the strands make 1 single crochet, and repeat one more time, and then at the end of the row in the last stitch make 1 single crochet. And this was the first row. So this started with 1 single crochet and then ended with 1 single crochet. Now chain 4 and then make 1 loop like this and turn. This will be the starting row, and then skip the first knot, and in the second one make a single crochet. And now we are repeating again, 1 loop, yarn over, pull it through, 1 single crochet between the strands, yarn over, pull it through the loop, 1 single crochet. And then skip the first knot, and in the second one make 1 single crochet. And you'll have to repeat this to the end of the row. So I'm pulling the yarn to make a loop a bit longer, yarn over, pull the yarn through, and then 1 single crochet between the strands. Skip the next knot, and in the next one make 1 single crochet. We will do it one more time, and then let's see how we will end up this row. Make sure that when you are pulling the loops, they have almost the same height, because otherwise your stitches won't be equals, but this is not such a big deal. Now to end the row, make just 1 loop like this, and then yarn over twice, because in the last single crochet here we will do a triple crochet. And these are the 2 rows that we will have to repeat along the dress. So now I'm chaining just one single crochet in the first stitch, then we will do 2 loops, Solomon loops or lover's knot stitch loops, pulling the yarn to make the loop bigger, yarn over, pull it through, then between the strands make 1 single crochet, and then skip the first knot and in the second one make 1 single crochet. Again, 2 loops like this, and continue like this to the end of the row. And to finish the row, we will do 2 loops, and then 1 single crochet, but you have to do it in the 4th stitch of the 4th chain that we did at the beginning of the previous round. And this was it with this stitch. You'll have to repeat row 2 and 3. And now to start our dress, you'll need to chain 77 stitches. So we will have in total 19 I'm counting the spaces, the stitches, because it's easier. So 19, and you'll have to work, as you saw before, 25 rows. After 25 rows, because this dress is worked bottom up, I wanted just to make small decreases around the waist, but not because I needed to be narrower in the waist, but just because I didn't want it that the shoulder straps to be too wide. That's why I decreased a bit, but it's not mandatory to do that. The dress can be straight. This stitch pattern is super stretchy, so don't worry if it's even bigger or smaller. It will drape nicely on your body, so don't be scared about the fact that it's a bit larger or a bit smaller. So I'm finishing now the row number 25, and now I started with a decrease. So instead of making chain 4 and 1 loop, you are making just chain 4 and then going into the second knot and make the single crochet. The rest is the same with 2 loops and then skip 1 knot and going into the second one and make a single crochet. And we will do also a decrease at the end of the row, and I will show you right away how we can do this. So again, when starting a row and you want to decrease, instead of chaining 4 and making 1 loop also and then turn, you are making only chain 4, okay? And now I'm working the row as we did until now to the end of the row, basically the last knot that we have at the end of the row. And now to decrease again, this row normally will end up with 1 loop and 1 triple crochet. So we finished the row now with just a triple crochet, the same as we did at the beginning. So we are skipping that loop. We are not making that loop at the beginning and at the end of the row, just to make a decrease. Okay, so this was the first decrease that we did. Now our next row has to start with 2 loops, okay, but we will do 1 decrease again because we want to decrease with 1 stitch. So I'm making 1 single crochet at the beginning of the row, and now I'm not doing 2 loops, I'm just doing 1, and then going into the second knot and make 1 single crochet. The knot in which you have to do the single crochets is always the knot which is alone. It wasn't joined with another knot from the previous row. And now to finish the row, we are doing 1 loop and then going into the single crochet. You can skip this loop at the end of the row. I think it will be better. This I was noticing when I was working on the neckline. So when ending a row, the second row of the crease, it's better not to do the last loop. Just leave it like this, not to double the loops there, because now we have to high up with a 4 chain stitch, and it will be a bit too tight with this one. Anyways, even if you are starting the row from the that knot where I am now, which I don't recommend it because it will be a bit tighter, or you can make the loop a bit longer. You can start from the second knot, which is the previous 1 knot, just stop it there, and then you will start the row as usual with chain 4 and then making a loop, going into the second knot and make a single crochet. It's not wrong how I did it, only that it will lay a bit different and it won't be, the stitches won't be too tight there. So I hope you understood this. I was just showed in the videos, I was working on the dress, so it was difficult to just I was figuring out only on the neckline, so I didn't want to rip it off and start it all over just for a small thing that I noticed that it will work better. Now we will continue with the row as usual. And from now on, we won't decrease anymore. And we will continue working like this, the rows as usual, because we are not decreasing anymore, for 18 rows, counting exactly this round that we are doing right now, okay? So this was the first, and 70 more rows, and then we will meet again to start to work on the neckline and the V neckline. Okay. This was the last row. Here the decrease is not visible, but while you are working, basically we decreased with 1 Solomon knot stitch. So now instead of 19 stitches, you need to have 17 stitches along your row. And I'm counting also the stitches on the row which starts with a single crochet, just to have whole stitches, because on the other row you have 1/2 at the beginning, 1/2 at the end. So better to count your stitches while you are working on the, or you just finished the row which starts with single crochet. Now we will start to work on the neckline, and I said that we have 7, so the last row was the one with single crochet, which started with single crochet and ended with single crochet. We have in total 17 stitches, so I'm going into the one in the middle and putting into the knot. I will put a stitch marker because that one will be our the middle of our neckline. So I will have in total 8 knots on one side, 8 on the other, and the one in the middle, the 9th, you will have to put the stitch marker. Now just let's count to make sure that we have the same number of stitches into the other side, on the other side. Okay, so everything is fine now. So now we can start and working up to the middle, up to the stitch marker, because we will have to decrease to make the v-neckline. So start the row as usual with chain 4, then 1 loop, and then going into the second knot and make 1 single crochet. And work the stitch as usual until you are at the last knot before the stitch marker. And I will show you there how to make the decrease. Basically, we are doing the decreases in the same way as we did when we decrease for the waist. Okay, so I just did the last knot. Usual, one row which starts with chain 4 and 1 loop will end up with 1 loop and 1 triple crochet. So we will end up to make the decrease with just 1 triple crochet in the marked knot. And now to decrease again, because always on the neckline we will do the decrease, we are starting with a chain 1, and instead of 2 loops we will do just 1 to keep decreasing to the neckline, for the neckline. Okay, so now normal, this row which started with 1 single crochet, you'll have to do 2 loops and then 1 single crochet, another loop, 1 single crochet into the second knot. So I will do just 1 loop, or if you want, instead of the loop, you can just make the chain 4 as well, if you find it easier this way. You can chain 4 also instead of making this loop. Okay, I'm making the single crochet. Oh, I just did 2. So this is wrong. I just wanted to show you how you cannot do it. So just 1, you'll have to do just 1 loop, so don't do 2, because otherwise you won't decrease. And now continue with the stitch pattern to the end of the row. So again, don't make 2 loops at the beginning of this row, because otherwise you are not decreasing. Just make 1 single loop. We finished the row. Now we will start the next one with chain 4 and 1 loop, and then turn. We know where the row is ending right now. This is the last knot. So before the last knot, just work the stitch pattern up there before the last knot, and the same as we did on our first row of decreasing, you'll just instead of 1 loop and 1 triple crochet, you will do just 1 triple crochet. If you want, you can place a stitch marker also in the last knot, just to know which one is your last knot and where you have to anchor the last triple crochet. So this is my last knot here. Is the knot before the last one, so I'm doing the last stitch. And now just yarn over twice and make the triple crochet into the last knot. And you'll have to repeat these 2 rows for 12 rows, or until you have only 3 stitches left, 3 spaces, like we said that we are counting. Basically you have to count only the knots, it's enough, but only the knots which are not joined with other knots in between. So only when you have 3 stitches left, then you'll have to stop, and your last row has to be with the one that starts with 1 single crochet and then with 1 single crochet. So don't stop in a row with 4 which starts with 4 single crochet. Even if you have you will count 3 stitches sooner, you'll have to end up with a row with 1 single crochet. I don't think it's too important, but this is how I did it, and I realized that 3 stitches are enough for our shoulder straps, our shoulders. Okay, so now continue, repeat these 2 rows until you'll have 3 stitches left. Okay, so basically I finish one side here. We will work in the same way on the other side. Just wanted to show you that I have 3 stitches left, but I will do 2 more rounds with you. Let's turn. Going into the second knot, make 1 single crochet, 2 loops, one single crochet in next, again 2 loops, one single crochet in next, and we are at the end of the row, and we will do 1 triple crochet. See here on this row, this is the row 11 of the neckline. We're just having 2 stitches. So we have 2 stitches and 2 halves at the beginning. These last 2 rows are not with decreasing, so we are just doing 2 rows straight. So basically you are decreasing for a neckline 10 rows, and then do 2 more rows. When you are with 3 stitches left, you are doing 2 more rows without decreasing. And like I said before, the last row has to be one which starts with single crochet and end with single crochet. How we are keeping it straight: instead of working only a triple crochet into the last knot, you are doing a regular stitch with 1 loop and 1 triple crochet. So now just cut the yarn because we finished this side, and we are about to start from the middle. So the middle stitch where you anchored the first triple crochet, just start from that single crochet, from that knot, and we will start the row with chain 4, and then go into the second knot and make 1 single crochet, and we did our first decrease. Okay, now going you'll have to go to the end of the row with the same stitch pattern in the same way as until now. Okay, we are at the end of the row and we will finish the row with one loop. Oh, sorry. One loop. We are at the beginning of the next row, so I just did one single crochet, 2 loops because we already turned. So the row starts as usual, and then going into the second knot, and we will do the stitch marker until we will get to the last knot. If it will be easier for you, just use a stitch marker to be able to identify easier the last knot that you have. Okay. And now to finish the row, you'll just have to finish the last stitch like this. Okay, and now we will just turn, so you don't have to go into the first single crochet that you did, because as I said on the waist, this will make it too tight. So you're just starting the row from the last knot that you have. You don't have to go with one more loop and then in the in the last knot. And now to start the row, just start the row as the first one with chain 4 and then go into the second knot and make one single crochet. Keep making the decrease and then continue with the stitch pattern to the end of the row. And you'll have to keep repeating these 2 rows until you have 3 stitches left. And then when you have 3 stitches left, you will just have to do 2 more rows straight without making any decrease. So I'm having 3 stitches left, and now I'm doing my last 2 rows. And after these 2 straight rows on which we're not decreasing anymore, we will finish our front panel of the dress. Okay, now chain 1, 1 turn, 1 single crochet, and we will do this last row that we have for the second side of our v-neck. Okay, now cut the yarn, and for the back panel you'll have to follow the same pattern, only that the 12 rows that we have for the neckline, you will just continue straight without making the V. in case you want to have a V neckline on the back, you can follow the same pattern as we did for the front panel. So it's up to you. I just repeated the same pattern one more time, only working the last 12 rows just straight. So basically from the decrease on the waist, I just had 30 more rows after making the 2 rows decreasing. And after completing the 2 panels, we are about to assemble them. So here I am with both 2 panels, and we can start assemble them. And we will start with the shoulders. I just did here one. We will do the shoulders with the same stitch, so without sewing, because it will be better in this way. Otherwise, you'll have to make a row with chain 3 between the knots, just to be easier to sew everything. And I will show you right away how we will join the shoulders by making the other one. Let's see. So grab your hook and yarn. I will flip my work because I will start in this corner here, and join the yarn in the first single crochet that we have, and I will chain 4. Okay, now I'm taking the other side and make 1 single crochet in the first single crochet of the other side. Okay, now making 1 loop. And I'm going into the front panel second knot and do a single crochet. Make again 1 loop and going into the second knot of the back panel and make 1 single crochet. Then again 1 loop, going into the front panel, next knot, and make 1 single crochet. 1 loop, and again into the back panel. And this is how we are joining the shoulders. We'll keep doing this until we will get at the end of our shoulders. We will do the 3 stitches, basically the 3 stitches that we have, knots that we have on the front panel. I think this is the last one, so I'm going into the back panel, and then I will do a triple crochet into the last stitch of the front panel. And this is how we join the shoulders, and this was it. I just did the other one. You'll have to repeat the same with the other one. If you want, you can do 1 more triple crochet into the next knot on the back if you feel that you'll need 1 more stitch to just make a nice edging, not to have corners. And then just cut the yarn. After joining the straps, like so, we will just have to sew the sides edges, And before that we will have to mark the armholes. For size small, I just counted the chain 4 at the beginning, so I'm counting 8, and then place a stitch marker to know which one is your armhole. You'll proceed the same in the other side, and then you'll have to sew from this up to the bottom. On one side I just let a small split. You can do it on both sides if you want. I just let it on one side, or you can not do it at all. It's up to you, depending on how you want to style your dress. So now let's just take our needle and yarn and start sewing. Okay, I finished assembling the dress on the sides, and now we are about to make a border or edging on the neckline. So we are starting in 1 knot in the back. I just made a few stitches here just to see how it works, but I will start all over again to work it together. So you just have to join the yarn in 1 knot on the back panel, but back neck panel, okay? And make 1 single crochet, and then chain 3, and going into the next knot and make 1 single crochet. Again, chain 3, go into the next knot. This will be only on the back panel at the neck, because we have to make a straight row. When you are working on the shoulders and neckline, you'll just have to do single crochet. And I'm doing, for example, over loop, I'm doing 2 single crochet, then in 1 knot 1 single crochet, then on the chain 4 I'm doing 3 single crochet. So depending on you and your tension, you make as many single crochet as you need, just to have a nice and smooth edging. So even if I have 4 chains on the sides, I'm not doing 4 single crochet, I'm just doing 3. Otherwise I'm feeling like my edging is curling, so there are too many stitches for the space that I have. But it's up to you. If you are your tension is not that loose and you are working tighter, then you'll have to make 4 single crochet. So again, on a loop, around 1 loop, I made 2 single crochets, and on the chain 4 I did 3 single crochet, and of course 1 single crochet into each knot that I had. And we will continue like this until we will get on the valley of our v-neck, because there we will have to decrease to make a 3 single crochet decrease, just to keep that corner and that valley nice, and make sure that our stitches, our single crochets edging is not popping outside of our work. I don't know how to say it. So when you have 3 stitches left, you will have basically 1 knot and then 2 chain 4 from one side and the other. So I'm doing 2 single crochet, and then the third one I will do it together with the knot and with the next single crochet that I have to do on the next chain. So I will do a decrease 3 single crochet together here, and then I will continue with my regular stitches, my regular single crochet to the end of the row. And don't forget, on the back stitches you will have to do 1 single crochet into the knot and then chain 3 up to the next knot. And this will be our first row of our neckline edging. And we will do 2 more rows for the edging. But let's continue and finish this row, and we will talk about the other 2 rows right away after finishing it. So now continue on the neckline with single crochets as we did on the other side, and don't forget on the back panel to make those chain between the knots just to make a straight line and edge and make the foundation for the other single crochet row that we will do for the edging. Okay, so let's see if I finish the row here. Not really. I still have a few stitches here. It's better because I wanted to say another thing. If for some reason I have the chain 4 or the loop, because I told you that I did 2 single crochet over the loop and it's a bit longer or bigger, or I don't know, I did it looser, then I can do 3 single crochet. So it's no rule on this, because it's really depending on how your tension is and how you work the stitches. Here I am on the back to finish the back neckline, and as I said, it will be with 3 chains and then 1 single crochet into the knot. So really on this first row of edging, it really depends on your tension and how you work the stitches. So if you feel that you have more space, so after making 2 single crochets, for example, you still have space for 1 more, just make 1 more, okay? After finishing the first row, we are just chaining 1, and then we will continue with 1 more row in single crochet. Over the 3 chain space here, I will do 3 single crochets into each stitch, and of course 1 single crochet into the single crochet that we did over the knot, on top of the knot. Sorry that it's a bit blurry here, but I'm hoping that you are getting the idea. This is on the back. On the neckline, it will be super easy because we already have the single crochets, so we just have to do the single crochets, and in the valley keep making the same decrease, working 3 single crochet together. Let's see, here I just got to the valley, so I'm doing 3 single crochet. The second one has to be the previous row decrease, and we are doing 3 single crochets together, and then continue with 1 single crochet all over the neckline until you get to the end of the row. Keep doing on the back panel. You'll have to do 1 single crochet into each chain stitch and 1 single crochet on the top of each single crochet that you did over a knot on previous row. Okay, we finished 2 rows for the neckline, and now we will do 1 more row, but the third row it will be with twisted single crochet, and we will work this row on the wrong side. I forgot to tell you that the first 2 rows are worked on the right side of our work, but I think you got it. So just flip your work after chaining 1. And then make 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then we will do a twisted single crochet into each stitch, just to add a nice edging to our dress. Let me focusing a little bit more. So twist a single crochet, just insert the hook, yarn over, and then twist your hook 180 degrees and then yarn over and pull the yarn to those twisted loops that you have on your hook. Keep the loops looser just to be easy to make the single crochet, and this will add a nice edging to our neckline. In the valley here we will do the decrease as well, so keep decreasing in the valley as well. So I just finished the neckline. We will do the armholes in the same way, only that for the armholes I just let 2 rows, so one in single crochet, the first one, and the second one in twisted single crochet. Again in the valley, so at the armpit you will have to keep decreasing, and we will do the same edging on the bottom. And because I have this split here, I will do the same in the seaming. Here I will do 3 single crochet decrease just to keep the that corner there in a corner. And after working the edging, the dress is done. And even if I didn't take photos with a cord inserted on the waist, I can tell you that you can do it so, and you can wear it over a tank as a tunic if you want. So I will show you right away because I was inspired by Outstanding Crochet. I'm hoping that you're following her because it has super nice pattern. And this is her way of doing a foundation cord. So she's using this foundation cord for starting a project actually. So you have to have a long tail before started. Like it should be like 4 times that you want your length for the cord to be, and then make a slip knot. And now with the strand of yarn that you have to rub it over your hook and then yarn over from the other strand and pull it through both loops that you have on your hook. Now again, rub, yarn over, pull it through, rub, then take your other tail and yarn over and pull it through. And this is a nice cord. I love it. I used to have to do the cords with chain and then slip stitches, just to add a little bit of thickness to the cord instead of doing just a chain. And this one is pretty nice, so I just wanted to show you this one, even if I didn't wear the dress with a cord, but you can use a cord or a belt or a tiny belt just to wear it as a tunic over a tank top if you want. This is how it looks with the cord on. So, and this is it. I'll just block this and then it's done. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial and hope you like this dress. I love it so much and it's so beautiful. And to the next time.